is an example, or just a mosaic that reflects the diversity of our contributor base, which is now up to 1,000. We pick these people based on how smart they are and what they know and how credible their voice is. And not just anybody can blog for Forbes, even though we've ramped it up pretty quickly. It's up to people like me and my, the business editor, the investment editor, the leadership editor, the entrepreneurs, these people who have been in the business a while, to pick these people. And once they're on, we don't edit them unless they do something wrong. We could take a post down, change a headline, but they're on their own. There's a certain amount of autonomy and freedom that they like. So it starts with the article page. This is, I don't know if you can see, but I encourage you to check out Forbes over the next 4 months, because we're going to be changing a lot of things. I'm going to walk you through some of the old stuff, some of the changes. So the photo of the contributor is very big. Not many news outlets, unless it's a columnist, gets that kind of treatment, kind of star treatment. You can see the comment strip. Go to the next one. Here's a little bit bigger, yeah. Authoritative headline, the brand who's bringing it to you. You can go to the next one. You can't see this, but this yellow box shows the traffic to that story, how many people have viewed that story. It's really turned a lot of people on in the newsroom to compete against each other, who can have the most page views showing on their story, who could be the most popular story of the day, of the week, of the month. Why didn't my story get a lot more page views? You start to care about the reception to your story. Why did it miss? What was wrong with this headline? What was wrong with this lead? Why did we publish it on Tuesday versus Friday, 8 a.m. versus 2 p.m.? People in the newsroom start to talk about the delivery of the story, not just the reporting of it. Prominent social sharing. I was fighting for this for years before the new administration of Forbes came in. Let's make the Facebook button 10 times the size it was, and you'll see the impact of that. It also shows the stats, so people could say, well, my story's doing really well on Facebook, but not on Twitter. But why is this, LinkedIn? They're all there. LinkedIn, Reddit, StumbleUpon. This is elevating the comments. You don't see a lot of news sites. Usually comments are down at the bottom, kind of tucked away down there. They're the hoi polloi, the noise. We moved it way up so that people who log in have identities. You can see who they are and who's commenting. So if you hover with your mouse over the name of the person, it shows up pops up a little excerpt of the comments, so you can get a sense of what's going on down below and maybe drive more people to comment. And then this thing that we created called the Best Pocket allows any writer to promote their own work from before. They can pick up the 4 things and stick them in the left side of the gutter. And it could be a photo gallery, a video, a story. And then we added Facebook Subscribe about 6 months ago. I don't know if you guys use it. I think anyone can turn their Facebook page into a subscription so more people, it's kind of like Twitter, turning Facebook into Twitter, where anybody can, anytime you post something on a wall or on Forbes, it shows up on Facebook. And it drove our traffic up a lot. This is what's coming new. This is a follow bar, and no one has this yet, where people you follow on Forbes, you can follow someone by clicking over here, or a company that you follow, or a city you follow. We have all these entities like colleges. Their activity shows up here. The last 12 things that have happened on the site that matter to you show up here, and you can hover over them and go there directly. It gives you a better sense of what's going on the site. And then we're changing the navigation. Now, if you go to the site now, it's all cluttered up top, and the article's pushed way down. We're going to make the reading experience better and bury the channel nav into here, and then have these other tabs, one called Real Time, which just shows you by chronology what's going on Forbes, and then most popular and more some of the more common things people want. So this is all happening between now and July. We're pushing out constant. It's not just one big refresh and site redesign. We constantly, like a tech company would, pushing out updates. New search, and then your login is now going to have more things going on. So how are we doing things differently? So I mentioned the contributors. I don't think, Huffington Post sort of, do you guys like Huffington Post? You know how they had this thing too. But it was sort of, for them it was a sideshow. I think they mostly put their celebrity politics stuff on the front page. For us, every story every contributor gets equal treatment. The site is filled, and oftentimes the top 5 posts are all done by non-Forbes staff. You know, as an editor, it has been a bit of a challenge. I mean, I wouldn't trade our success for anything, but I've said the challenge that goes with that of having a new news gathering model is having to deal with when companies get a call from 3 Forbes contributors at once, or 90 people want to go to the same conference, and only 2 people are on staff, and 88 are not on staff. We have to turn people down, tell them no, we're covering that already. Or we get a lot of duplicate posts. Frankly, I don't really care about duplicate posts. You know, if a big news thing breaks, like well, that for me, if that Facebook Instagram deal was a big deal. Maybe not for you guys, but the Titanic, you know, anniversary. We'll have 19 people write almost the same thing, and I'll have to call some of them and say, you know, you got to read the site, don't just repeat. But maybe 5 of them will have radically different angles that only their audience sees. There isn't a lot of you know, news sites get hung up on that everyone reads everything, but they don't. I mean, you know, we saw that in the magazine. We always thought that was our best stuff. When it went up online, it usually died. But now it doesn't. But it used to die because we didn't give it a web feature. And the overlap between our magazine and our website is only 7%. So the same thing applies to web articles. People just don't. They find what they find. We found that most people get news now from their friends, from Facebook or Twitter or an email, than by scanning all the headlines or sitting down and reading a newspaper cover to cover. So production, self-service. I mean, that's the economics of the business are darkening so radically that you cannot produce a magazine, newspaper with the economics of yesterday. No way. We pay people based on their traffic. The half of the 1,000 that are paid, that aren't on staff, they get a dime for a repeat visitor and a half a penny for a one-time visitor. So they get, what's that, 20 times more if a person comes back to an article of theirs. And so it rewards quality, because people will come back if it's good, rewards frequency, and it rewards their ability to market themselves to their audience and tell people who've read their last piece that they've got a new one up. You should read it. And distribution. So I'm going to show you a slide in a couple of minutes that shows how our traffic sources have changed. And I think a lot of publications have had that same change. But we do have we've actually, when we've had to lay people off in the newsroom, it was sad, but we had to tell them we're realigning our resources, which is the usual corporate line, right? But it's true. We have been hiring on this audience development.